Hey everyone. I'm going to do highlights of my story. I know I said earlier that I was going to do my story. Well, I have my story wrote out, and it's going to be like 17 pages, which is going to be a very long video. So I figured I'm going to do it in parts. But now, I'm just going to do highlights. So it's going to break down the story pretty much, and then when I'm able to do the parts, you'll understand. You'll get it. So I'll start from when I was 12 years old. But before I start there, I need to tell you that I have two brothers. One is a twin brother, and we were born on October the 30th. And then I have a little brother, and he was born December the 8th. He's 5 years younger than us. So when I was 12 years old, my cousin and his mother lived with us, and he came into my room one day and he told me that he was coming in while I was sleeping and touching me while I was asleep. I made him get out, obviously, and I locked my door, called my mom, and she wasn't able to answer the phone. When she got there, they made him leave, and he was never allowed to come back. But being 12 years old, in the safety of your home, what you think is your safety, it destroyed me. It was hard, very hard. I didn't sleep in my bed for a long time. And then, a year later, my parents divorced. When they divorced, that separated me and my twin brother. And we had never been separated. I mean, we've been together at that point for 13 years, every day. So when they divorced, that was another hard little hiccup. My mom moved me and my little brother to Huntsville, and my dad stayed in Lawrence County, Alabama. So when we moved to Huntsville, we lived here for about 6 months, and then my mom met a guy and started dating him, and then he moved us, me, my little brother, my mom, and him. We all moved to Georgia. We lived in Sandy Springs, Georgia. We lived there for, we lived in Sandy Springs for about a year, I guess. And then we moved from Sandy Springs to Duluth, Georgia, and we lived there for about a year. Then we moved back from Georgia in 2007. And around that time, that's when I started drinking and smoking. My dad was dating this woman who would buy me and my best friend at the time alcohol and cigarettes. So we would drink, do teenage stuff, stupid stuff. And then that went on until 2009. And then in 2009, I started high school. It was ninth grade. I started smoking, I was smoking cigarettes, drinking, and then I started smoking weed, and then I started doing OxyContin. Um, I was using OxyContin 60 milligrams, um, and that lasted for about 2 months. Using the OxyContin, it lasted for about 2 months, and the guy that me and my friend were getting them from, he got mad at me because I wouldn't date him or have anything to do with him. So, he just basically cut me off, which I was thankful for because I didn't need to be doing that, you know? So I went through the withdrawals of that, and that was my first experience with withdrawals. Then I started hanging out with this girl that I was friends with in 8th grade. I started hanging out with her again, and she was hanging out with a group of people that threw huge parties, and there was some older people there, you know, but being 15 at that time, you think you know everything, you know, you think, you know, whatever, you know. So that's when, I was drinking, I was drunk, and I got raped, and my virginity was taken. So that was another traumatic event in my life that I had to come to terms with. I got very depressed. I was drinking myself to sleep at night. Literally, my mom would find liters of vodka, empty vodka bottles in my closet. And then when I started 10th grade, I started using more pills. I was using pretty much any kind of pain pill. Whatever it was, I would use it. Then by 11th grade, my mom, she was having health issues, and she got put on, I think, Loratab, and then Dilaudid as a breakthrough. And she was prescribed gabapentin too. So I would sneak those occasionally. And then after doing all that, I graduated high school in 2011, and I was still doing the Loratabs and all that stuff at that time. And in 2012, yeah, I started using oxycodone. My brother and his girlfriend introduced it to me, and I already knew I was gonna, be hooked because I had the OxyContin, and I knew they were similar. Well, I started using those, and there's more that happened in 2012, but I'm not ready to share that part yet. I'm still dealing with that part. That's been a huge part of my usage, and it's been tough. It's been very tough. I'm still seeing counselors. I'm fighting through crying right now. But I'll get through it. I've got everything else that I've got through. And addiction being the hardest thing that I have gotten through, it's been tough, you know. So in 2014, I ended up getting with my ex-husband. At first, everything was fine. We didn't have any issues. And then 6 months later, we got engaged. When we got engaged, everything started going downhill. 6 months after we got engaged, we got married. And at that time, I thought it was the right choice because of everything that I had going on at that time. There's going to be more into that too as when I get comfortable and get through that. I'll tell you more about that. But during that time, I became really close to my ex-husband's grandmother. I was with her every day. I would work for her, and she would pay me money, and I would go spend that money on my addiction. At that point, I was shooting up oxycodone. I was doing them every day, multiple times a day, and this is when the physical abuse started. He dislocated my hips, caused me to have a miscarriage. He stomped on me. He punched me in the face, blacked my eyes, choked me out, pulled my hair out. And I was only 100 pounds at this time, and he was 380. So that went on for years. And when I say years, I mean years. In 2016, he got in with a doctor that started prescribing him oxycodone 30s and Opana 10 milligrams. So we would use those, and those would be gone in 3 days. So that went on until July of 2017. I left him because the night before I left him, we had got into it, and he put a knife to my throat, and he cut my throat. It wasn't a bad cut, but the fact that he cut my throat was enough to show me that he would kill me, and that him telling me all those times that his family had enough land and enough ditches that he could put me in any of them and no one would find me, it started ringing true, you know? So the next day after he cut my throat, we got into it. He was coming home from work, and we got into it, and he said when he got home he was going to beat me. And I had had enough. I was done, so I packed my stuff up, whatever I could carry, and I got my dog, and I left. And then 8 months after leaving him, I met a guy, and we started dating. We dated for 2 months, and we were using together at this time. And then on December 24th, 2017, we had been talking throughout that day, and it was Christmas Eve. We had been talking throughout that day, and I was with my family in Decatur, and he overdosed that night. I had fallen asleep, and he had overdosed. The next day, I tried to get in touch with him, and his stepmom called me, and she told me he was no longer with us, and that he had overdosed. The guy that he was buying heroin from had gave him fentanyl, and it killed him. After he died, I started doing heroin. I had never used it before, and at that point, I was over it. I had had so much go wrong, and it just seemed like it was not gonna hit any better. I had gave up, and I was ready just to be done. And then on August the 13th of 2018, I was over the daily grinding, the chasing of the drugs, all of that. So I decided to go to the clinic. So I started the clinic, and then on September the 3rd, 2018, that was the last day that I ever used heroin or any illicit drugs. That day will forever be the happiest day of my life. After I started the clinic and I was doing good, me and Jackson started dating. We started dating, it was December the 28th of 2018. We were drinking almost every day when we first got together, and then by March, we found out I was pregnant. So I stopped drinking. Jackson started the clinic because he was still using, when we got together. But he started the clinic, and we were doing good. We were, pregnant, doing great. And then September the 27th of 2019, my mom's husband died. He died of an overdose as well. At this point, I had already gone into premature labor once, and they were able to stop it. And then, after he died, I went into premature labor again, and I was 3 centimeters dilated. And, they put me on bed rest. So I was on bed rest from when I went into premature labor the last time until I had her. And I had her on December 9th, 2019. That day, that's a day I'll never forget. You'll never forget having a child. That's life-changing, But I've been living sober and clean ever since September 4th, 2018. I've been 5 years sober now. Couldn't be more happy, couldn't be more blessed, especially to have Jackson and Jayla by my side. They're my rocks. If I didn't have them, I don't know where I would be. Honestly, I really don't. I have no clue. But I just wanted to share this with y'all, just to give you a highlight, and I'm gonna do my whole story. I'm gonna do my whole story in parts, so
I can really get down, and get deep with you, and you'll really understand more about me. Uh, but I hope y'all have a great day. Um, and I am looking forward to hearing everybody's story. Not just my own, but I want everybody to come on my channel and share their story. I want to have people change their life. I want people to know that there's other people out here that's living sober, that's doing good and that will support them. Um, so if you know anybody that's struggling, please share this channel. Share my story. Get people involved. The more the better. I want to. I want to help as many people as I can. I want to reach out to as many people as I can. Um, but I love y'all. Y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all later. Have a good night. Bye.